So this is the Canon V1. It's a cool little camera. I rented it because I'm looking for a second camera, something to film myself while I'm using that other one. And as far as a vlogging camera, this thing is really cool. I do like it. It's lightweight, it's portable, it fits in my little gimbal. Awesome. Now I made a list because there's some things I like and there's some things that I'm not so sure about. The PowerShot V1 has a 1.4-inch 22.3 megapixel sensor, 16 to 50mm equivalent lens, 4K up to 30 frames a second, 4K 60 frames a second with 1.4 crop, 1080p up to 120 frames a second for slow motion. It shoots in Canon Log 3, H.264 and H.265, 10-bit color depth with 422 color sampling, 5 stops of IS, supports live streaming, and a lot of other cool things. So let's start with the main things. It's a compact, solid little camera. I mean, it's small, but it feels solid. It almost feels as well built as the R5. Nice flippy screen, awesome. Has a built-in lens with a zoom range, 3x1 zoom, and there's an f2.8 at its widest and 4.5 when you zoom. So it's a variable aperture lens. But you know what? The range, to be able to vlog and hold it like this, the wide angle is incredible. The quality of this camera, the 4K quality of recording is awesome. That hands down, really good. You could use this for stock video, you can use it for YouTube. The focus is incredible. The autofocus, once it locks onto you and finds you, forget it. You can move wherever you want and it keeps you in focus. Great. It's very intuitive. It only has a dial here in the back and then the dial here on the front. Really cool. I mean, simple. There's no like shutter speed here. Like, it's made for video. It can take pictures, but it's meant to do video. It's got cooling fans so you can film for a long time. Now, it also has a built-in ND filter, which you can turn it on or use it on automatic whenever you need it. Cool feature, not something I use a lot, especially for filming inside, but if you're vlogging and doing things outdoors, great thing to have. 8.2 millimeters to 25.6 millimeter. So 8mm on a regular camera and a full frame camera would be a fisheye, complete 360 degrees or 180 degrees. So here I am at its widest angle, which is supposed to be 8.2 millimeter. And you can see how wide it is. You can see me, you can see everything. You can see my hand here. Super wide. It looks pretty cool and it doesn't distort. It's not a fisheye. If I zoom in all the way, while I'm filming it does it a little bit slower. But okay, there we go, 3.1 times zoom. Now it fills my face in the frame. Kind of interesting. This little camera, it looks like a point and shoot camera. It cost $1,000. For what it does, I think it's awesome. For $1,000 to have a camera that can do autofocus like this, 4K video quality, I think it's great. You could use this for stock videography, you could use it for a lot of projects, and like I said, it's lightweight and portable. It has image stabilization. I like to use it with my gimbal, especially if I'm following me or tracking me, but it is awesome. Now, the things I don't like about it. Number one, I know it's what I just said, it's compact and light. It's solid, but it feels like a toy. Like I just feel weird taking this out to do video, especially if I'm doing for somebody else, if I'm doing something commercially. For stock or stuff when nobody else is watching, I think it works, but to take something like this to do a photo shoot or video shoot, even though it has the quality, it just feels like a toy. The other thing I don't like is that you can't replace the lens. Sometimes you want to get closer, you can add a macro or telephoto. The zoom range that it has is fantastic for vlogging, but that kind of limits the usability if you want to use something like this commercially. The other thing I don't like is the battery life. It uses these little batteries and you're gonna need a few. This is the LPE17. It does okay, but after like, I don't know, an hour of use, it's just dead. Luckily I have extras because I have other cameras that use these type of batteries. The other thing I don't like is that where the battery and the memory card are stored are in the same cubby here. That is exactly where your tripod plate goes. So if you have it mounted on a tripod or a gimbal, the only way to replace the battery is by undoing everything. So it's not a lot, but it's just a couple extra steps. The other thing I noticed was that when you're shooting photos in low light, the ISO is terrible. After 400 ISO, you really notice the noise and grain. So anything more than 800 or 1600, I wouldn't recommend shooting, especially if you want to shoot stock or anything like this. If this is something you want, just keep the ISO lower, lower than 400 for better quality images. And then the f2.8 to f4.5, that's great, but it's variable. When you have a 50mm 1.4, a 24 to 70 2.8, that's all across the range. If you start video and you want to zoom in, and you start at 2.8, by the time you're zoomed in, it's gonna be f4.5, so it's gonna change the light, which means if you plan on doing any kind of zooms like that, you need to start at f4.5 so it doesn't change the lighting on you. Again, little things, just something to note with this camera. The audio, awesome. It does great recording of the audio, but it has a little dead cat thing here to put on the top, so it blocks the microphone. But I used it with the other microphone, so I didn't really need that. And then the other thing I don't like about the camera is the cost. I know I said it before, it's a good thing for $1,000, but for $1,000 you could get something else that does a lot more. It's a great vlogging camera. I've enjoyed my weeks using it, and now I think it's time to send it back. And would I purchase something like this? I think the answer is no. The next one I'm gonna rent is the one step above this one where you can replace the lenses. I think it's gonna be the Canon R50V, the next video series, because I'm curious, I wanna see how it works. I've used this one for a lot of things, behind the scenes kind of things, and I think it does great, but for $1,000, I don't know that this is the one for me. Now, if we talk about the pictures, they're just okay. They're not the best and they're not the worst, especially when we compare the similar price point cameras from 10 years ago. Technology has come a long way. The deal breaker for me is the fact that you can't change the lens. The lens that it has is great as a vlogging camera, but if you're gonna try to use this for anything else, it's just not for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.